Hello everybody, welcome back to the next episode of All the Mods 8. I'm currently setting up the recipe here on the ground to make the dimensional seed. Now because the soul engulfing actually consumes all these blocks, this is kind of a temporary setup to begin with, so I just decided to put it right here. The problem is I'm looking at the recipe for the dimensional seed right now, and I'm realizing that we are going to be short on quite a few resources. Diamond 4x block we're going to be short on. Right now I've already compressed down enough to get 5 of the 3x blocks, so we're still a little ways out, but I do have a bunch of diamond ore that I can use my fortune pick on, and hopefully that'll be a decent amount of diamonds just sitting right there. However, the one that I am worried about is the netherrack. Now I do have netherrack, I believe, being made using some nether seeds, but it's actually going quite slow. Currently I'm at 6 4x blocks, so I'm getting close to 1 5x block, but the problem is, in order to complete the dimensional seed, we need a 6x netherrack block, and that is a lot of netherrack considering I used all of my netherrack and then some just to go ahead and get one of the 5x blocks. So we're gonna have to figure out a way to get some more netherrack. Everything else I pretty much have already set. The only thing that I don't have, I believe, is soul sand, and soul sand I believe can be crafted via nether essence and fire essence, and we're gonna need quite a bit of soul sand, I believe, for this recipe as well. Yeah, we need a 5x block of soul sand, so we definitely need to get a little bit more of that. The way I'm thinking we're gonna probably end up getting it is by doing some haunting of normal sand, because we do have normal sand production already. We have 106,000 and counting. So what I can go ahead and do is set up a little system from create to haunt a bunch of sand, and that hopefully will be a decent source of soul sand that we can then use to put in this system here. Now to finish some of this other stuff here that we need, like the mini end portals and such, we actually need to get into elemental craft, it looks like, and I have very little experience with elemental craft as a whole, so we're going to have to dive into that, but probably not in this episode. We're probably not going to get this finished. Part of the mining dimension here actually has a significant layer of netherrack, and it looks like this goes down quite a ways, all the way down to 1. So between 1 and 64 is effectively all netherrack throughout the entire mining dimension. What I'm thinking we can go ahead and do then is, if we get a builder from RF Tools, we can actually make this and put in a quarry card and select a bunch of area, and we can just get it to mine out all of this nether area and get our netherrack that way. And just before I get into setting up this builder, I was noticing that our disk drive is getting a little close to 70% full here. I figured it might be a good idea to replace this with a larger disk before it fills up all the way. I do have some items coming in here that I think should be going into drawers. I'll have to kind of sort that out in a moment. I've kind of taken a look and I've gotten what I can going into drawers upstairs here, but it is slowly kind of getting items as it progresses up. So I'm probably going to have to look into that a little bit, but for the meanwhile, I do want to go ahead and replace this drive with this drive. But I kind of want to just get this drive back and not use it alongside this one. I want to kind of use this one to upgrade further down the road once we want to get even larger than this as well. And the way you actually go about doing that is by using what's called a disk manipulator. The disk manipulators will basically let you take a normal drive and transfer all the contents from one drive onto another drive. Ideally, we want to get the creative disk manipulator because it's going to be the fastest way we can transfer all those items over. And I have it on autocraft here, and I think it's going to be totally fine to craft up just like so. And we should have one just like that. Perfect. I never use the crafting grid anyway, besides just my normal crafting, so let's go ahead and put the crafting grid back, and we'll put the disk manipulator right here. Basically, we put the disks that we want to empty out in the in slot, and we put the drive that we want to add items to back into the disk drive up here. But anyway, all we have to do then is basically put this new disk in here like so, just like this, and then take our old disk downstairs and put it into the input slot. This is going to start taking all the items out of this disk and putting it into our new system. We'll let that go ahead and fully transfer over, and then we'll have a decent bit extra storage space to work with for now. Now this builder is pretty easy to make. It just takes some of this aluminium and ender pearls. We're also going to need a quarry card. So let's set this builder up here. Actually, let's move this builder down here. So let's go right here and set the builders down right here, put a lever on the side and a point on top, just like that. Actually, we're going to need to put a inventory on top. So let's go ahead and put the ender chest down like this. We can basically go ahead and configure how we want this to mine by shift right clicking on the builder. So now that says to select the first corner, we can go ahead and select, say, right here. And the second corner, I believe we can go ahead and come down here, just as an example, and select right here. Now, if we put this thing in here, just like so, we should be all ready to go. If I hit start on this, just like this, but for some reason it actually replaced a lot of this netherrack, or it replaced a lot of the netherrack with just dirt. I'm not 100% sure why that did that. So I actually think what we need is the clearing fortune quarry. And right now we have just the fortune quarry. So I'm thinking we have to go and take this now and combine it with some glass, and that will give us the clearing card. And I think that's going to be the thing that won't replace any blocks. Let me go ahead and double check that though. Let's try a little deeper here. One more layer. Put that inside, and that should clear it, and that should be inside here. Perfect, 25. Awesome. So that's going to go ahead now and basically clear all the netherrack for the entire selected area. I feel totally fine about putting a ender chest on top for this thing to pump into, and then we're all set. Let's go ahead and clear this thing one more time. And now we want to select our corners, and I want to see how much netherrack this actually is. So if we're looking here, our starting amount of netherrack is 21,000. It appears 22,000 actually. Okay, and let's select this corner right here. So that's a good sized chunk of netherrack that's going to be mined. So let's go ahead and put this thing inside of the builder and start and see what happens. Shape cards inside, and we're gonna start. Okay, so we are getting netherrack coming in here at a substantial rate. That should clear out a giant section of this. And let's see, how much netherrack do we have coming in here? Oh, we're already up like 6,000. Oh, it's flying. So that's actually gonna be really good. And we can go ahead and basically just, once this is done, take that shape card and just get another section of this and let it mine for longer. I just believe we have to make sure that this is chunk loaded. So let's just go ahead and chunk load this right here. There we go. So that's chunk loaded. So that should keep running, I believe, no matter what, even if we go away. We've been doing a lot of tech work and a lot of automation heavy episodes recently. So I thought that this episode would be a great time to go ahead and get part of the pack done that is a little more fun and adventurous. And I am, of course, talking about the Twilight Forest. The Twilight Forest has a couple of mobs that we actually need for a couple of parts of the star, mainly the Snow Queen trophy. So we're actually going to want to go ahead and find that Snow Queen. What we can actually do is farm the Snow Queen using a mob swab, I believe, or a mob duplicator, and we can go ahead and actually use that to farm more of those trophies. As you can see, we need 2 for the Dragon Soul. And we also need 1 for something else, I believe. Oh yes, for the miniature Twilight portal, we need the 1. From what I remember, I haven't done it in a little bit, but we need to create a 2x2 or a 2x2 area where we then put flowers all around like so. I believe this can also be saplings or grass. And then we have to go ahead and fill in the water like so, and then throw a diamond in the middle. And there we go. We now have the portal to the Twilight Forest ready to go. And it actually will walk you through the Twilight Forest progression down here. We don't have to do anything really past this, I believe. So we're probably just going to work up to this point. If we want to, we can go past the Snow Queen and finish the other bosses and the final boss. But there's really not really much of a reason to, considering what we have already, and we only need the Snow Queen for the All the Mods Star. And here we are on the other side in the Twilight Forest. So I'm going to go ahead and mark our spot here. This is home. The Twilight Forest is actually broken up into different regions. And the way that it works is you're only meant to progress forward one region at a time until you've beaten the boss from that region, and then it unlocks a second region. So as you can see, it tells you once we first come into the Twilight Forest, it tells us that we have to go ahead and get the Naga trophy. So within this biome here, there is supposedly a Naga boss. We might have to fly around a little bit to find said boss, but they're usually quite common and easy to find. Just as a demonstration, it looks like there is a area that we're not actually allowed to go into quite yet, right beside where we spawned in. So if we come in here, this is acid rain, and it actually will hurt you if you try and come into this area to kind of deter you from attempting areas you're not supposed to be in yet. What we also might want to keep an eye out for is the raven feather. If we can find ourselves a raven, I believe the raven feather is what we need to craft a certain item that will help us navigate a little easier in the Twilight Forest. Yeah, the magic map focus. If you craft this with a bunch of paper, you get a blank magic map. And I believe this will take you to a boss location in case you're having a tough time finding one. It looks like there is a Naga boss right here, but what I was actually looking at is this obsidian pillar right here. And as you can see, it looks like there is a raven right here that we can hopefully go ahead and get. There we go. We got some feathers from the raven. Perfect. And that is actually a quest line because it tells you about the magic map focus here. So let's go ahead and craft this magic feather. We need to get some torch berries. Well, we'll have to keep an eye out for some torch berries, but while we're here, we might as well take on the Naga boss. And here it is. It spawns in. And here's the Naga boss. It's actually quite... I'm going to take my magnet off for this. It's actually quite an easy fight, even if you're in just kind of netherite armor or something. I believe this boss isn't too terrible. So this should be very easy for us to come in here and just give it a... Oh, we one-shot it. Okay. That was a little anticlimactic, I guess. And here is a Naga trophy and the Naga scale. That is what we basically needed to unlock the next area, which is the Lich King zone. But before we get into that, I want to try and find ourselves some of those torch berries so we can make ourselves a map. I actually found the castle that the Lich King is in already, so that's where we're going to be headed, but I want to find some torch berries first. I'm not 100% sure where we actually go ahead and find them. Oh, here we go. Here's a torch berry. Just one. If I go ahead and just break that, is that going to give us a torch berry? There it is. Perfect. Okay. I believe we can go ahead with those and make the magic feather. Magic map focus. Perfect. And then we just need to combine it with some paper. And here is our map. And so here we can basically take a look and see where the bosses that we need are. So as we can see, the Naga that we just fought, I believe is right over there. And the Lich King, the closest one, of course, is right back here where we first saw his castle. And you can see him on the map as well. Normally, you'd have to start down at the bottom of the castle here, and you kind of work your way up to the top. But because usually by the time we're in the Twilight Forest, we're kind of OP already, we can kind of come up here and just come into the main one right here, I believe. And this is where we're actually going to find the Lich King to fight. And here he is. So, and there's these flying books everywhere, which are kind of annoying. But for this guy, I think we have to go ahead and reflect the items he has back at him. Yeah, so he throws these ender pearls at you, and you have to kind of hit him back. If you basically just stand here, I think you can just spam your sword and hit him back. There we go. And there should be one more, or two more. And finally, there should be just the one more shield here. And now it's just the Lich King himself. So the shield's gone. Now he's an easy fight. And there he goes. He is gone. And here we are. We have the Lich King trophy. We have the Scepter of Twilight and just a couple other basic gear. We don't actually care for any of that. Now that we finished the Lich King, it says that we have to go into the swamps. I wonder if we'll find Shrek. So we have to go into the swamp and try and find an odd-looking hill with an entrance on top. This is the Minnow Shroom Labyrinth. This looks like a swamp here. We have some, I guess, mangrove roots. We have to go ahead and find kind of like a labyrinth or something, where we have to then find some of those, this must be it. Okay, so here we are. It's just a big hole in the ground. You got to come down. And I guess we just have to go ahead and navigate this. I'm just going to go ahead and leave the torches on the right sides, on the left side, so I know which way I'm going to be going to go home. I'm just going to be exploring this for a bit. I don't think I'm going to find anything too interesting in this. It looks pretty generic. There is a little bit of loot here. I knew that was coming. Oh, there is a Minotaur right there. I believe he's what I need. Oh, we have to look for the Minnow Shroom boss mob. Okay. And I believe this goes down to level 2. Oh, there's the boss right there. And this, I think, is the boss. And there he goes. There he goes. And a bunch of meat stroganoff. But we don't really need that. So now that we've done that, we have to go and find the Hydra. If we take a look on our map here, I believe is the red right over here. I believe this is where the Hydra can be found. Ow. Oh. Oh, I'm burning. And of course, after looking it up on the wiki, I found out that you actually do have to eat one of these beef stroganoffs to gain access to the next area. So, of course, that was something that I didn't realize that was part of the progression. All right, we are approaching the Hydra once again. And for this fight, it's actually pretty easy. I'm pretty sure you just gotta chop off its head as fast as you can. And that's it. Again, this would be a probably much more difficult fight normally. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to the Phantom dungeon in the Dark Forest and see if we can go find one of those phantoms to kill. It looks like there's 3 of them kind of in very close proximity. So if we can't find one, I'm sure we can get another one in a different dungeon. So I had an issue. I think the problem that I'm having, I've been through 2 of these structures now. I went to, if we take a quick look at the map, I did the bottom and the leftmost one. And for some reason, the boss just didn't spawn anywhere in the strong. Like I looked around forever and it didn't spawn. So I think the problem that I had was it actually accepted other trophies on this pedestal, but I think the one you have to put on here for the boss to spawn is the actual Hydra trophy. And so I still have my Hydra trophy here. I put this on here like so. I'm thinking that may have been the problem. Oh, I just ran into it. That must have been the problem. Okay, so you have to put that in, and here is the boss. So I think we have to just fight this guy here. One of these guys is the real one, but I can just take out all of these guys. And there we go. And they are done. Let's grab all this stuff just in case we need any of it. And that should be the next part of the progression done. All right, our next is the Urgast trophy. The Urgast should be right over here beside the Dark Forest. If we just come over and out of the forest, we should be able to see where we have to go. And here is the big tower. So I believe for this, we have to go up to the very top. Hopefully it should be right here. Like, look at this thing. We can just hit its fireballs, I guess, right back at it. Okay, that was really, I just hit it once. It must have been just a weird hitbox thing, but I'm not sure why that clip just cut out there a little, but I just kind of one-shot it there. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but yeah, I believe I should have the reward now here. There we go. If we come down to the Twilight Forest, we are just 2 away. So now we have to go to the Snowy Forest biome to kill the Alpha Yeti. Oh, looks like it's over to the top left of the map. And this is it right up here. I believe in here we should find the Alpha Yeti. And here he is, which shouldn't be too tough. It was not at all. Okay, so it looks like it's just right across here is the Aurora Palace. This thing is really cool looking, actually. I believe the Ice Queen is at the top of the palace. Usually, again, you'd have to kind of work your way up from the bottom. But because we have our creative flight and a way to teleport inside, that shouldn't be a problem at all. Now, these blocks are normally, I think, pretty tough to break. Yeah, so I think you can break them, but I believe we can just go ahead and teleport inside. Just like that. Okay. And there is just some basic loot. I don't know exactly where we're looking to go, but it's not there. Now, okay, before we get to the point where we find the Snow Queen, we have to actually find a way to farm the Snow Queen after we bring it back to the overworld. So I'm thinking the best way to do that might be to get a swab and grab a swab of the Snow Queen as well. But we can also potentially get the mob duplication going on with the imprisonment tool if this actually works. I'm not 100% sure if this will work, but we can go ahead and try that first. I'll get a swab of her anyway, just before we do that, just in case it breaks something. Something in here. Stable ice core. A bunch of ice up here. I wonder if I have to break my way up this main area. Oh, yep, there it is, the Snow Queen. Okay, so let's get this swab. Perfect. And now let's try the imprisonment tool. No, so this imprisonment tool does not work on the Snow Queen, which is good to know. But we can use the swab, I believe, to get more of her after. And it's just that simple. Now let's grab ourselves the trophy, which is what we are after in the first place. And then we are all set. So that's effectively all we have to do in the Twilight Forest. Now, again, you can go ahead and continue on to complete a couple more of these mini bosses and get to the very end where you fight the final boss. But again, it's not really required for the pack for the ATM Star, so I don't think we're going to bother worrying about that. And because we're so OP, we could do that anyway, but at this point, I think we're just going to go home with what we have. Okay, let's go ahead and make ourselves this special feed, and that should be good. So let's grab our feed. All right, we have the Snow Queen spawn egg, and now I'm going to grab a spawner, not a super fast one, and I only want it to spawn one at a time. And I want to try this out somewhere a little bit away from the base. I'm not 100% sure if the Snow Queen spawns a bunch of ice when you summon it in, so I just want to make sure that we're not breaking anything in our base. Oh, it does drop a chest. And considering we just have 2 and we only need 3, I think we might just go ahead and do this a couple more times, and then we'll have all of the trophies that we're going to need. I think we're pretty much good to go now. I put all this stuff away. We have 7 Snow Queen trophies, which should be fine. And we always have the spawner here that we can put away for now, if we ever need to get more back. So to make this portal, we're going to need a couple of things. We're going to need the block of fiery metal, which we can make seeds for, so I'm not worried about that. The block of night metal, which we don't actually have enough of. So this is what we're going to have to get a little bit more of to make the seeds. We need to get a couple more of the night metal ingots. And I'm not 100% sure. Oh, we have armor shards. Maybe we do have enough. Oh yeah, we have plenty. We can go ahead and make this, and then this can be smelted into the ingots. And then we also need the final thing, which is, we come in here, the block of steel leaf. So we do have some steel leaf. I don't know about the carbonite. Oh, we have carbonite too. Okay. So we actually did get all the things we need, I believe, to craft the stuff we need as well. The carbonite does not have a seed, but we only need 1 of these blocks, and I think we have enough. I mean, realistically, we don't even need to make the seeds, because all we need is 1 block's worth of the night metal, which we have. We need some steel leaf block, which we have enough, and then we can even make seeds if we want to later, if we need some more. We have at least 4, so we're good there. And then finally, we need, make this portal, we need fiery metal. Now, this is the one that we're going to have to make the seeds for this, because we only have 4, and to get perfect 4, we can actually make this with the fiery blood. Man, I'm just right when I think we're gonna have to make seeds, we actually don't have to. And that's the final block there. Other than that, we are all set. We just need to go over and get the carbonite back out, and the Snow Queen trophy. Need 1 of those, and now we gotta go and send this through the awakening setup, which is up here, and this should all be full of essence still, which is great. There we go. And that should be the miniature Twilight portal being crafted up, ready to go. Nice. Okay, so that is effectively what we needed to continue on towards the Philosopher's Fuel. And after we did all that, I'm pretty sure that's everything that we're going to need from the Twilight Forest going forward, and I think we can pretty much close this portal up and call this done. Yeah, so for all intents and purposes, we are pretty much done with the Twilight Forest. We have everything that we need from that dimension, so I'm just going to close it up for now. But I think that's going to do it for this episode of All the Mods 8. I hope you guys enjoyed our detour into the Twilight Forest. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you haven't already, Feel free to join the Discord. There you can find all the latest up-to-date news on what's going on, and chat with people on there about Minecraft and all sorts of other stuff. But that's it from me, everybody. I hope you all have a good one. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!